What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. Happy Timbip Live. Hope you're doing well. How are you? How are you? Is everything slightly off? Bev Porter with the well wishes and saying what everybody is thinking. Hit that thumbs up on your way into the stream. Yes, indeed. Also, very good to see you, Bev Porter. How are you? How are things? Man, I thumbed you. I remember. I mean, it was a good time. I don't want to talk about that. It's a stupid thing. How are we? How have you been? What's new? Currently thumbing you? I'm getting the double thumb. So much thumbing. How on earth is it possible for me to receive this much thumbing? Anyway, hello. I'm Perry. I'm the host of this, my Bourbon Podcast. This is Timbip Live. We're here. You're here. Just lucky, I guess. Could be, Bev. How did you know? Whiskey tariffs, more like risky tariffs. Shy guy, you're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're astounding. Sorry, I am, I'm a little behind. So I'm still getting some stuff together. Oh, I gotta get the TTB labels. Moms know more than you know. That is true. I open up Instagram, and this is the first thing I see. I don't know if you all know Little Bubby Child. Some kid up McDonald's asked for my papa's autograph because he thought he was Gimli, son of Gloins. Papa didn't say nothing and just signed it Vernon Tackett. Fantastic. Kenny Mule, cheers from Texas Gulf Coast. All right, Kenny. Tell me, Kenny. What do we call that Gulf? What do we call that Gulf, Kenny? You're new here. Kenny Mule. What's that Gulf called, Kenny Mule? Nah, I'm just joking. Good to have you in. It's fine. Huge fan of Little Bubby Child. My best friend and I quote him all the time. That's why when I end streams, sometimes I go, I love you. I miss you. I think about you all the time. Guy who did that big Grayson Burger short I sent you the other week did a collab with the Little Bubby Child. Oh, okay. Little Bubby collab. Yeah. Quote that exact one every time. Anyway. We got lots of stuff going on. No real review or tasting tonight. Because of all of the news that is happening. But it's not that I won't be drinking throughout the evening because, of course, it's still a bourbon stream. But there's just a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about, of course, the tariffs ending. We're going to be talking about new releases that are going on. We are going to be talking about what else do we have coming up? Please stop playing that video. Mergers falling apart. We're going to be talking about indictments over bourbon tastings. So we have a lot to discuss, but first, for those who are engaging, for those who are sipping, what are you drinking on tonight? I would like to know what is in your glass, or what are you pouring or planning on pouring? Plug my phone in. Wheated bourbon. Just wheated bourbon. Actually, 7-year-old Fitz. Hello. Whippy? Wipe-eye? Wilmington Piper? Wilpy? I gotta try to organize this crap too, or else it's just gonna be a whole mess. Mama's been dry for health reasons since the middle of January, except for yesterday on my flight back to Michigan. I hope you're doing okay, Mama Porter. And then I got to check with our friend Janet to make sure she hasn't reported on anything. Started with a Paloma, but going to grab some Green River Wheated Foolproof. I need to have some of that myself. Yeah, it doesn't look like Janet's got anything particularly new out. There's releases. And boom, I think we're good to go. Awesome. We shall see. Okay, well that doesn't instill a lot of confidence in me there, Bev. But Hoping for the best, thinking about you. So, I'm going to actually grab my Green River Weeded Foolproof. My hair's in my mouth. My hair's in my mouth. Haven't had this in a minute. Figured it's a good time for it. We brought it up on this week's episode of the podcast. Kyle and I did. Well, truly, Kyle brought it up first. And then I said I hadn't had it really since I made content with it and that I needed to have it again. And then Logan Beckinen's in here, too, saying cheers. And hello, Logan. And Tullyweeds over on the Twitch, too. Hello, friendly friends. Good to see you, Tullyweeds. Hope you're well. Good to have somebody in the Twitch chat. If you want to follow on Twitch, twitch.tv/mybourbonpod. And if you haven't liked yet on YouTube, please do such a thing. Hit the subscribe button, too. Episodes of the podcast go live every Wednesday. Live streams every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's something else I was going to say. I lost it. Oh, if you want to support the show while I'm live, head to the Stream Elements link in your description below. And you get your message up here on the top left-hand side of your screen. Maybe somebody would like to finally get Shy Guy's message off of the screen that says something quite unsavory about me. If you want to get that off of the screen, you can do that by heading to the Stream Elements link. Here, look at this. Yay. Oh, it doesn't pop up on YouTube. I forgot. That's annoying. Anyway. Let's have a sip. Then we'll start getting into the news of the week. So I'm going to put the bottle back here. It's good. It's just it's just good. Good little warm up. I'm happy. All right. Let's turn our attention to what is happening in the world of bourbon and whiskey. Because like I said, there is quite a bit that is going on at the moment, and some things that will take most of the evening to discuss. Because let me tell you. It's crazy. And we'll get to the big story of the day, of the week, about midway through stream. So if you want to come back for that, no worries, understand. But we got a lot of stuff we're gonna get to. But first, we're gonna talk about the independent or international wine and spirits competition, which we will have a preview of on the podcast before too long. But they have extended their entries until May 8th. Spirits industry professionals from around the world will once again gather in Bardstown, Kentucky for the third International Wine Spirits Competition in early June. This year, in addition to judging North American whiskey and ready-to-drink spirits, the categories are expanding to accept gin, vodka, rum, and liqueurs from across the United States. And the entry deadline has been extended to May 8th. Now, I was fortunate enough to chat last year with Don Davies, who is the master of ceremonies, basically, and the head judge of the IWSC. And I know that there are 1,000,001 competitions. I like this one in particular because they're much more independent. They kind of don't take themselves as seriously as like a San Francisco spirits competition does. It's a lot more grounded. And yeah, I think they feel a lot more genuine than most spirits competitions do. Now, I will give you a preview of whom we will be having on the podcast this year, and it's this gentleman right here, Richard Patterson, OBE Master Blender of White and McKay. And you might not know who exactly that is, but you would know him if you saw him. It's this guy. Infamous for his tasting videos and just being a real cool looking dude. But I'm very excited to have him on the show. Kyle actually doesn't know this yet. I'm breaking this to him live on air. So, yeah, very excited. And I think the first royal order or first knight we've ever had on the show. Richard Scher is a character, as is Jack. I sort of desperately want to be present for them having a conversation. That would be pretty awesome. Yeah. Is that the My Pillow guy? No, it's not the My Pillow guy. They do look like they're like alternate universe versions of each other, though. That's very funny. I like that. It's hilarious. Kyle just said, "Oh, nice." Get excited. Get excited. So, there you go. That's your update on the IWSC for this year. Hopefully, I'll be able to be a judge someday, because that would be fun. We'll see. Why did I pull this up? I talked about this last week. Bye. One pump. They did look very similar on mobile. That's fair. What is his name? I cannot think of his name off the top of my head. Mike Lindell. Okay, to be fair, yeah, Mike Lindell does look quite a bit like Richard Patterson. I am Mike Lindell. He's running for governor, by the way, of Minnesota. I don't know if anybody else knew that. I'm ashamed he's from Minnesota as someone who lives there. Patterson is the one famous for pouring scotch in his glass to rinse it, tossing it across the room, then pouring a real dram. Yeah. He's a pretty cool dude. I can't tell if this is a real picture of Mike Lindell or from that Saturday Night Live sketch. Oh wait, no, here's the Saturday Night Live sketch. My Pillow versus My Bourbon. Me and Mike. Hi, this is Mike Lindell. I'm going toe for toe in the ring with Perry from This Is My Bourbon Podcast. I don't know who that guy is. He just challenged me out of nowhere. Second time he's run. He's run for governor before. This is My Pillow Podcast. Have you seen the video of Mike Lindell being served while I think he's at CPAC, and he's on he's doing like a video interview, and This lady comes up to him, Perry for the win. He's doing like an on-screen or an on-camera interview, and this lady comes up and she's like serving him papers. I don't know what for, but he just keeps going like, "No, thank you, no, thank you, no, thank you," and eventually he just shoves the papers out of her hand. It's very funny. This happened like a month or so ago too. MTV Deathmatch that was claymation style, amazing. What did I tune into? Sugar Kitty, you know what you tuned into. This is not abnormal for a Thursday night stream. Beth Porter said no one's sure. We need to start doing bingo for Thursday nights. And one of the squares is Perry gets sidetracked by chat. And then Perry goes on his own side tangent with a different voice. A passable Mike Lindell impression is what you tuned into. Passable. I'll take it. Jeff the Creed has unveiled their upcoming release of Bruce's Blue Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Jeff the Creed has been in the news a lot recently with expanding their experiences, and I just don't know what to make of what is happening with Jeff the Creed. But good for them. If they're going to keep paving their own path, I want to see what happens. You know what I mean? I'm curious. I look forward to what's next. We can't feed ADHD. That's completely fair. Also, hello, Emily Chambers. Good to see you. How are you? Very good to have you in, as always. Hope you're well. But Bruce's Blue. It's an heirloom corn varietal developed, planted, and harvested exclusively on Jephthah's own farm. Where was this? 100 proof, 75% Bruce's Blue corn, 20 malted rye, and 5% malted barley. What's the age? No age stated. Prefer Wood Hat over Jephthah? I don't know if I've had Wood Hat. I have never even seen Wood Hat before. Joe, the sample guy, how are you? How you doing? Good to see you. Cheers, y'all. Cheers to you. I rather enjoy Wood Hat. I stopped by there a couple weeks ago on my way to Kentucky. I've never seen it. It's done well in competitions. Okay, well, that just took me to the same. Okay, those are liqueurs. Free website widget. I don't know why. All-American red, white, and blue corn whiskey. Interesting. Brew barrel bourbon, the smoothest bourbon you'll ever taste, varies with each batch. As it is finished in Rubenesque barrels that had been used to imbue beer with the essence of bourbon. So it's a bourbon barrel. It's a bourbon that's finished in a beer. It's bourbon that was finished in a beer-finished bourbon barrel. Yes, everyone remember to rest your little kitty cat heads on the like button. Can't believe I said those words out loud. They're tiny? Okay. Wood Hat is good. Gary is cool. Excuse me. Good evening, all you wonderful whiskey people trying to watch on a plane to Orlando to visit friends after spending the week doing all the bourbon in Kentucky, but can't see video. Oh, well, replay. Sorry you can't see the video. Mike Schneider, but good to see you and hope you're well. Old Blue and Bloody Butcher are both really nice. I went home with a blue, though. Their website is not particularly easy to maneuver. Love the Rubenesque. I'll look at the Rubenesque next. Oh, it's a corn whiskey. Very interesting. So it seems like they don't really do a whole lot of... Okay, here's a bourbon. The Bloody Dapper is a bourbon. I didn't try that one as I still had 6 hours to drive. Next time. Old Blue. Gary's the corn dude? Queen's Reserve. Bourbon whiskey finished in a honey barrel. Where's that Rubenesque? Full-bodied bourbon, smooth up front with a full, rounded mouthfeel of blue corn, finishing the complex flavor and a delicate warmth. 100 proof. Interesting. Master Distiller is a super nice gentleman. I met him at ADI a couple years ago. Super knowledgeable. One I bought was a single barrel at 63.7%. Really big whiskey. Very cool. Never heard of them before. So, very cool. Thank you so much for letting me know about them. But yeah, I mean, Jephthah can be people's absolute favorite. I think I said this last week or the week before. Be people's absolute favorite, but also if you don't vibe with it, you can absolutely despise it. So, curious what this release is going to look like. Bruce's Blue. It's hard to say. Bruce's Blue. We'll see. Here we go. Blue Run. Trying to make any money, I guess, and not be a tax write-down again. But the Blueprint series, it's a new flagship bourbon, 105 proof, 80-15-5. Is this a wheater? Is that what the implication is here, or is that a rye bourbon? The experimental mash bill, known affectionately at Blue Run as the Founder's Mash, combined with our top floor age, yeah, there we go, wheated mash bill, gives it an unexpected woody heat and pleasant softness, resulting in a blend that must be tasted to be understood. But $70. So, and then it's going to be out starting tomorrow, May 1st, May Day. So, be on the lookout. Gary interviewed. I got to look at it on YouTube. Hold on. Whoa! My whiskey den. I don't know Whiskey Den. But I did just subscribe to them, and I like the video, and I'll have to watch that later. Thank you, Emily. Appreciates that. Appreciates that very much. Yeah, I don't know what to make of this. This hold on. This feels like a product for Blue Run. Love the Den, they're cool. I'll have to check them out for sure. My fault for not knowing. Honestly, like I say this, but it's my fault for not knowing more of the bourbon and whiskey channels out there because there's just so many. But I appreciate everybody who watches this one because of all the channels you could be watching, you chose to watch this one, and you find some value in it, and I really appreciate that. So, this just feels like a product that should have come out, I don't know, 5 years ago when Blue Run first started. But I mean, this is, product that was distilled specifically for Blue Run. I don't know, man. I just don't know what's happening with this brand. I don't know if they're going to go anywhere with it at this point. Rubenesque is a straight bourbon 100 proof. I think I saw that, but yeah, I want to check out more of Wood Hat as well. But anyway, Starlight has announced a bottled and bond bourbon, which is very cool. I like that this brand, which has at least, maintained some popularity. Butterfly turned into a caterpillar. I mean, basically, like, okay, look. It is not unheard of for a brand to launch as semi or ultra or just flat out premium, right? But there's something about Blue Run where it just didn't catch. And whether or not it's the lack of transparency for where their barrels were coming from, whether it was the fact that they weren't going barrel proof, didn't Molson openly admit they overvalued them? Yes. And they have on public record that they were a tax write-down in 2025, maybe 2024. So openly admitting that they're not making money off of them. And so, yeah, fake premium is exactly right. It's just this like curated fake hype that they're trying to create around Blue Run. And it just is like, one of the things that I think is the most damning in terms of what could have been a veritable success for them is the lack of clarity on what the actual relationship Jim Rutledge has with this brand is. Because, like, they were supposed to be distilling. Jim Rutledge is, like, the guy when it comes to distilling. As far as, like, the past, 30 years goes, right? And to me, it's like, if you're going to have that guy be a part of your brand, utilize that. And it's just so confusing that they brought him on, they hyped him up in the beginning, and now it's just like, where is he? Where is Jim Rutledge in regards to Blue Run? He's just nowhere. And I'm not saying that the face is going to sell the brand altogether, but at the very least, utilize the cards that you have. Put them to use. Like, it's so strange to me. Anyway, I just, and the investment into the distillery, and that went nowhere too. It just was a complete and utter failure. And I feel like this trying to recenter themselves around like a flagship product 5-6 years into them being not a household name, but at least an established brand, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if they're already being considered a financial loss for Colson Moores, or Moores Colson, whatever it is, I don't care. This is not going to resonate with buyers. It's just, there's no point. It was all built on hype and marketing shenanigans. There was no there. It was always going to collapse. Yeah, for sure. We're not making money, and we like it that way. Agreed with Corking Off. Blue Run is fake AF premium. Hello, Big Vic. Good to see you. Cheers, y'all. Morris Colson. There we go. Coors Molson? What am I saying? Coors Molson. I'm an idiot. Coors Molson. Gonna offend the Kentuckers out there, but I think some of the highest highs out there for the price is Tennessee whiskey. I don't completely disagree with that. I think Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof is incredible. More Carlton. Not unusual to be loved by anyone. Yeah, Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof is a pretty high bar. Completely agree with you. Anyway, let's move on from this. I can't think about Blue Run any more than I already have. Yeah. Starlight, brand that's actually done well, has a pretty good following, and releasing a curated bottled and bond bourbon that's all Indiana based. I'm not entirely sure whether or not they are the ones that have distilled it, but I mean, it's not a bad thing. Old Dominic's so freaking good too. But yeah. Oh, here we go. No, that's just where it's available. Very small release, but it carries a great deal of meaning. But it's only available at the on the website and the distillery and select retailers starting this summer. But cool enough. Starlight is one of the worst distillery tours you've ever been on. Anyone had the OGD 114 single barrels? They're phenomenal. Oh, yeah. Very good. Which? I guess this is the barrel code 112-OGH011. Heck if I know, man. Kyle, is that right? Sure look dark AF. It's pretty dark. I mean, it's not the darkest, but I mean, it's pretty dark. Actually, you know what? I'm going to have that next. Super short, no samples, no food. Talks more about their wine than their whiskey. Don't get to go into the Rick houses. $35. Oof. IDFK. Kyle, I love you so much. Kyle's that friend that tells you how it is. All right. Anyway. I don't care to cover that. Okay without that. Okay without that. Lord, it's almost 8 o'clock already. Jack Daniels has announced their newest McLaren F1 collaboration. Has anybody seen this yet? Just before we go any further, has anybody seen this yet? Because I want to know if anybody knows how expensive this bottle is. Nope. I saw it. Just for anybody who hasn't seen it, Kyle hasn't seen it, throw a random guess as to how expensive you think this bottle is. $40? $500? Uh, 117.4 proof. Wait, are they really not going to put the price on here? It's $600. This is a $600 collaboration bottle. For racing. It was in the title? No, it wasn't. Oh, look, there it was. Hell yeah. Yeah, $600 for with all that carbon fiber. It's for Chile, and it must be Italian. Yeah, 117.4 proof. Whatever, man. I want to see if I can get a media sample. Do you guys have any media bottles available? Like, just kind of sitting around? Just out of curiosity. Love to try it on the podcast, you know. What's that? Do I know anything about racing cars? I know they go in circles. Sometimes, if you watch the right one, they go in squiggles. What time do we close? We start drinking at 11. Anyway, if anyone wants to buy $600 Jack Daniels, here you go. F1 goes in squiggles at least. Bam! I'm a McLaren fan, and I would never buy this or buy that. My brother-in-law is a McLaren. I think he's a McLaren fan. And I mean, I think he could afford to buy it, but I doubt that he would. I doubt that he would. He's a lawyer. Yeah, that's a no for me, dog. All right, let's start talking about some serious stuff because serious things have been happening this week, and we're not all about the jokes here on This Is My Bourbon Podcast Live. Fred Minnick, with his poorly formatted website, has an article that came out yesterday that says Brown Foreman, Pernod Ricard end merger talks. So here's the deal. Let's talk about this in a couple of manners. Because this is actually kind of a major development in this story for a couple of reasons. The first is that, one, it's not the end of the world I'll stick with. Is that what it's supposed to say? Yeah, I'll stick with Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye. Yeah, I'll do that, and the regular barrel proof whiskey too. One hundo p. So this is not the end of the world for Brown-Forman. And I think it's pretty clear to at least those of us who have been following this story that this is a merger or a partnership that would have been more beneficial for Brown-Forman, or it would have been a more favorable partnership for Brown-Forman than it would have been for Pernod Ricard. Now, why do we kind of make that assessment? First of all, okay, well, I'm just going to grab this picture and shake it around a little bit so that you remember, like you're a baby, that we are talking about, in fact, Brown-Forman. Okay? Now we're going to move on to actually talking about it. Brown-Forman stocks dropped by about 5% following the announcement, according to Reuters and other media. Brown-Forman issued the following statement. We intend to create long-term value for all stakeholders by focusing on our strategic and operational priorities. This includes unlocking future growth by expanding our geographic footprint, continuing to build brands that resonate with consumers, and enhancing operational efficiency. Now, that was not actually the point I was going to make, but what I was going to say is that Brown-Forman lost quite a bit of money during the 2025, and I think, during the 2025 fiscal year, and it seems like they're panicking quite a bit, and they're trying to find a partner that will help to elevate their presence on the global market. And it looks like at this point that their most likely buyer is going to be Sazerac, who kind of entered the conversation initially. And at this point, it's probably likely that they're going to wind up buying them. Fred has a bit of speculation here about what Sazerac might do if they don't wind up getting Brown-Forman. So let's hear what he has to say.
Hey, what's up, everybody? So it's looking like Brown-Forman, the Brown family, the majority shareholders of Brown-Forman, prefers the offer they got from Pernod Ricard, or would rather sell to Pernod Ricard over Sazerac. Now, here's the thing. If Sazerac does not get Brown-Forman, or if they don't get a piece of Brown-Forman, I believe they will go after someone else and make a very significant American whiskey acquisition. Now, this is just a theory. I have no proof of this. I have no evidence. It's just a gut I have of covering this industry for more than 20 years. So put in the comments section, who do you think Sazerac will go after if they do not get Brown-Forman? Cheers.
Sorry, I muted my mic. My bad. Forgot to... Sorry, let me back up. Bourbon Lover, first of all, thank you so much for being here. Cheers to you, too. What I was saying, I apologize, is that... There you go. Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. I muted my mic so I could clear my throat and take sips and whatnot. But what I was saying is that Sazerac does not necessarily need to make such an aggressive move towards acquiring a company like Brown-Forman. But at this point, say that deal does fall through. I don't necessarily think that they need to make a move towards finding another brand that they could ostensibly acquire. But right now, as it stands with Pernod Ricard stepping out of the way, it does seem like the door is pretty much wide open for them to go ahead and make this acquisitional move, as it were. So we'll see. Still a lot of things in motion before anything actually takes place. So we'll find out. I kind of wonder, and this is just speculation too, if Pernod Ricard didn't want to operate as a partnership with Brown-Forman because they are still, family owned. Brown-Forman, I mean, and more so wanted to actually just kind of absorb them and operate them as, from their own controlling entity status. But instead, it just didn't seem to fly. But anyway, when times aren't as good, the door opens for the people with money and a long-term vision to get bargains. Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, we'll see. Anyway, the big news of the day: whiskey tariffs. In honor of the King and Queen of the United Kingdom, who have just left the White House, soon headed back to their wonderful country, I will be removing the tariffs and restrictions on whiskey having to do with Scotland's ability to work with the Commonwealth of Kentucky on whiskey and bourbon, two very important industries within Scotland and Kentucky. People have wanted to do this for a long time, and that there had been great inter-country trade, especially having to do with the wooden barrels used. The King and Queen got me to do something that nobody else was able to do without hardly even asking. A wonderful honor to have them both in the USA. President Donald J. Trump. April 30th, 2026, 2:30 p.m. So, the king with his mighty sausage fingers tasting whiskey. But Scottish whiskey after King Charles has visited. And here's the thing. This is massive. This is a huge change. This is not a bad thing. Great for what looks to be mostly the Scotch side of things, but it is not going to be bad for Kentucky distilleries, as it were. Doesn't quite seem like Kentucky distilleries and Kentucky exports are going to be as relieved as it would be, as we would have been led to believe initially. But let's go ahead and break down a little bit more of what this means. Now, this is coming from Politico. Trump, who does not drink alcohol, framed the decision as one to strengthen cooperation between Scottish and Kentucky distillers and as a gesture of gratitude to the British royals. Relations between the U.S. and Britain have become strained since the start of the war with Iran. The Scotch industry has lobbied the administration to eliminate the 10% tariff on its whiskey for months with support from American distillers. The lobbying effort hinged on two arguments: that the U.S. is the largest consumer of Scotch whiskey and that Scotland spends hundreds of millions of dollars a year importing oak barrels from Kentucky distillers. Now, very simple concept here. For those of you who don't know, it is very common for Scotch distillers to import used bourbon barrels from distillers in the United States to age their Scotch whiskey over in the UK. Now, with the implementation of the retaliatory tariffs, this became much more expensive for the distilleries, and with the relief that came as of the meeting between the president and the king and queen, that has now been lifted. We've already read that. Kentucky bourbon is required by law to be aged in new charred oak barrels. After those barrels are used, Kentucky distillers, blah, 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 often sold to Scotch distillers. Both the Kentucky and Scottish whiskey industries have been hurt by Trump's trade war. Scotch exports to the U.S. were down 50% in 2025, according to the Scotch Whiskey Council, and U.S. whiskey exports were down 19% in 2025, according to the Distilled Spirits Council of the U.S. Most of the decrease in U.S. whiskey exports, which did not see a retaliatory tariff, was due to a loss of exports to Canada. This deal is a significant boost for the Scotch whiskey industry and our most valuable export market. Mark Kent, CEO of the Scotch Whiskey Association, said in a statement, distillers can breathe a little easier during a period of significant pressure on the sector. So, once again, this, as it was initially framed, was that you are going to feel a little bit more at ease as a U.S. consumer. Maybe prices were going to go down just a little bit because some of those tariffs, some of those pesky tariffs were gone. Not so much. This is just for those in the UK who, again, are paying higher prices for barrels overseas. Now, I want to point out a very important aspect of this that will potentially have an impact beyond the removal and implementation of tariffs in the short term. A couple weeks ago, the Delta CEO, Delta Airlines, was interviewed and was asked, hey, currently prices on Delta flights have been raised because of the elevated gas prices due to the ongoing conflict with Iran and the U.S. and Israel. After this conflict is over, do you find it likely that prices will go down to help alleviate some of the stress of travel for your consumers? What the Delta CEO said was ostensibly no. Because the CEO liked seeing the numbers go up. They liked the fact that they were making more money even during this time of unbelievable crunch for their consumers. This, my friends, is what is known as perceived inflation. And so it is not a guarantee, but there is a chance that even though we saw this sanctions relief, this tariff relief coming about thanks to the president and his somewhat more amicable, relationship with the King of the UK. That just because he says no more tariffs, those who are in charge of setting prices and being able to write checks are not going to necessarily lower those prices just because it's easier for them to import barrels to age their product. So, is this a good thing in the long run? Yes. Are we going to see an immediate shift to lower prices? Definitely not, I would say. But that being said, I am being slightly pessimistic about this just because I understand the way that things operate. And I know that this is not going to be a cure-all for the way that the industry is functioning right now. So, especially at home, we'll find out. We will see likely lower prices eventually, but in the meantime, be cautiously optimistic, I would say. Hello again, Whiskey friends. Hello to you, Jeffrey Wack. Very good to see you. Hope you're well. Hope you've had a great week. Hope you managed to get back in one piece after your travels last week. That guy is whack. He's whack. He's wiggity wiggity whack. Just to wrap up this article. Oh, hello. That was a lot of. Anyway. Mostly one piece. Good to hear. I'll take it. U.S. Trade Representative. Oh, I read that. As part of the economic prosperity deal, the U.S. and UK have decided that in continuing its implementation, the United States will allow preferential duty access for whiskey produced in the UK, along with preferential treatment for other American and British goods, Greer said in a statement. The announcement drew support from Kentucky lawmakers. As the chairman of the Congressional Bourbon Caucus, I'm raising a glass to President Donald Trump for this important victory for our signature Kentucky bourbon industry, wrote Representative Andy Barr, who has been eyeing a sought-after endorsement from the president in his bid for Senate. Wiggity whack, that's when he has his Halloween costume on. By the way, this is just basically for me. Andy Barr is currently up for re-election. He is a Trump Republican, but like every Republican that is running in Kentucky right now is basically saying, like in all of their campaign ads, like, hey, you know that Trump Republican? They're not as much of a Trump Republican as I am. Don't believe that guy. He's an idiot. I'm way more of a Trump Republican than they are. Vote for me. And also, Mr. President, please give me your endorsement. Please. Pretty, please. I want it. I like you a lot, please. Very annoying. Literally all of the campaign ads that you see. Really annoying. And last news story before we move on to TTV labels. North Carolina lobbyists indicted over bourbon tasting trip. I was going to cover this last week, but I was kind of running behind on stories, and I saved it for this week. But 4 North Carolina lobbyists have been indicted by a Wake County grand jury for allegedly providing illegal gifts to Republican lawmakers by way of a bourbon tasting trip to Kentucky. Meanwhile, in an unrelated case, 5 North Carolina individuals have been either cited or arrested for illegal liquor sales in Charlotte. If I'm not mistaken, this had to do with Pappy? Yeah, it did. High-end bourbon illegally sold in Mecklenburg County through an underground operation. coming for my secondary market. 5 citations or warrants were issued to individuals for the illegal sale of liquor in Mecklenburg County during a recent targeted multi-month operation. According to the county's Alcoholic Beverage Control Board, Operation High Octane. That's so lame. Operation High Octane, targeting the illegal resale of spirituous liquor. Spirituous liquor? Who calls it that? Statewide on the secondary market. I was joking. They're literally coming for the secondary market with stupid code names like Operation High Octane. Hi, Tim Bip. I'm back, but I just plumb forgot it was Thursday. Cheers to the Pappy Heist. Hello, Tony. How are you? Good to see you. It resulted in 28 criminal summonses locally since last June and uncovered a sophisticated underground network profiting from the unlawful sale of rare and allocated spirits. All such spirits must be sold under ABC permit approval. Much of the sales to undercover agents took place in retail parking lots, including grocery stores, a movie theater, and even ABC stores. Okay. That content continues below survey. Oh. This is not casual activity. This is a calculated effort to bypass regulations designed to ensure fairness and safety, said ABC law enforcement officials. These individuals understand the law and are choosing to ignore it. These hardened criminals just trying to resell alcohol. Anybody want to buy my opened whiskeys? Mecklenburg County ABC Board law enforcement also partnered with the Greensboro Police Department in a coordinated effort targeting illegal secondary alcohol sales. On April 15th, a successful joint takedown resulted in the seizure of 14 bottles of high-end bourbon and cash from an individual. Bro, nobody's seeing those bottles again. Hey, Buford, looks like we got us some spirituous liquids right here. I think we need to be confiscating that there yonder for the annual policeman's barbecue. See, that's the thing. That's the freaking thing. That is the thing right there. Now, you can argue whether or not this was right. You can argue whether or not you think Justin's House of Bourbon was doing the right thing. But when they seize those spirituous liquids, spirituous liquors, whatever, and claim that it's because of illegal activity, people aren't getting their bottles back, whether they're found guilty or innocent. It's getting confiscated. It's getting used for personal purposes at that point. Oh, we just don't know where they went. They just plumb disappeared. They're gone. Man, Buford, we had them. They's in the back of the car. They gone, though. Oh, Buford, it'd be a real shame if those bottles in that their property room disappeared in the middle of the night. Yeah, judges and state attorneys drinking good. Anyway. I guess there's something about it being like an ABC state that makes it more legal than if you're in Kentucky operating on the secondary market. But I still think this is a stupid story. Like, get over yourselves. Judge, we'd be happy to invite you to that annual barbecue. I'm starting to sound like Mr. Strickland from King of the Hill. North Carolina Newsline. Sorry, back to the indictment story. But North Carolina Newsline reported that the lobbyists have been accused of providing money and or gifts to a group called Greater Carolina that went toward paying for the lawmakers' travel and entertainment. Now, that is just straight up illegal. They were indicted for having Churchill Downs and the Sazerac Company in Louisville to pay for events benefiting the legislators and other lobbyists and staff on the trip. For their part, the lobbyists believe they did nothing illegal. What? What? Lobbyists thinking they did nothing illegal? Is the sky blue? Does a bear wear a funny hat? Integrity, accountability. There's Thomas H. Handy. Look at that. Integrity, accountability, and transparency are not just professional obligations for me. They are core values. I welcome a complete and thorough review of the circumstances, and I'm confident I will be cleared of any charges through a fair judicial process. Team Sazerac lobby effort. One vote, one Weller. The news outlet described Greater Carolina as a nonprofit conservative social welfare organization created to promote pro-business and free market policies in North Carolina. I can think things. Republican state lawmaker Jason Sain resigned from the legislature in 2024 following the trip. Illegal sales in Charlotte, the Mecklenburg County's Alcoholic Beverage Control Board. Wait, this happened in the same county? Oh no, this is the other story. Sorry. Crazy. You can't do this. Can't do this. Already have a Weller? Well, then you need a handy. 9 out of 10 politicians do, in fact, vote based on a handy. Anyway, crazy stuff. Don't do this. Can't buy votes. You're not supposed to, anyway. Very obvious that, like, yes, Tony, do you have a question? Tony's raised his hand. I'm curious. Do you have a question? Do I need to address something? Is there an elephant? Is he in the room? And there's the hand now. And there's the hand. We have found the hand. How'd you know I was here? Hello, Clifton. Oh, it's just a handy. Oh, okay. And we have located the second hand. It's going towards another lawmaker in North Carolina who is also claiming that they did nothing wrong. Now, if you look closely, you can see that they are, in fact, completely corrupt. I'm shaking your handy. I didn't mean that. I'm shaking your handy. We should all be more corrupt. I mean, look, I don't fully disagree with that statement. Sometimes if they're not playing by the rules, we got to play by their rules. It's not what I wanted to pull up. I wanted to pull up this crap. Because now it's time to look at TTB labels. TTB labels. Oh boy, it's time for TTB labels. Apocalypsis Rojo. You're right. Why can only the wealthy get away with it? Prepare to start getting crazy ad sponsors. Oh boy. Yeah, why can't only the wealthy get away with it? I live right next to Crook County. Is that nearby? I don't know. I brain out. Looks like my shitty AI logo. This is worse. This is bad. This is the epitome of, like, guys will look at this and say, hell yeah. Why? It's the Grim Reaper riding a death horse with paratroopers in the background, and what I can only assume is a valley of 1,000 deaths. Like, what is this? And the moon is, like, dying, I think? I don't know. I mean, Apocalypsis Rojo. World-ending spirit, forged in the furnace of Armageddon, Night Stalkers. Chicago's in Cook County, nicknamed Crook County for the... Oh, yeah. World-ending spirit. It's just stupid. Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 4 years old, from Casey Jones. The effing Four Horsemen, right again. Woo! An electrician, a father, a husband, and an all-around ass kicker. 60-year-old overweight dad that wears sunglasses and a ball cap at all times and a goatee level bourbon design. Yeah, don't forget his skin is a very deep red color. Papa Ritter's here. Hi, Papa Ritter. How are you? Good to see you. This is terrible. I mean, this is absolutely awful. And there's no way that the spirit itself is good. Or maybe it's great. I have a question. Why? Why did Jack Daniels do this? We had dinner with your nephew for his birthday tonight. That's awesome. Hope Mason had a great birthday dinner. Did you raise your hand? Sorry. I have a question. Why did Jack Daniels do Old Number 7 brand whiskey aged 1 day before charcoal mellowing? Oh, wait, sorry. They did after charcoal mellowing, too. But they're both just aged 1 day. Why did they do 1 day aging? This is a 375. Like, this is definitely going to be a distillery-only release. Why did they do these? This crystal clear Jack Daniels has not been through the extra step of mellowing drop by drop through 10 feet of sugar maple charcoal, or what we like to call the extra blessing. The charcoal mellowing process removes unwanted elements, cleans the taste, and is part of what sets smooth sipping Jack Daniels apart from bourbon. He tossed many fits. That tracks. We understand that you want a fresh patty, juicy onions, fresh tomatoes cut about that thick. Most importantly, we know that the onions don't touch the tomatoes. It was fun, though. I'm glad. Cheers to all you Sparkies retired after 35-plus years in electro-petrochem. Kenny Mule, it is very good to have you in here. I hope you're well. And thank you so much for being here for your very first stream. I guess I kind of like half introduced myself. My name is Perry. I am the host of This My Bourbon Podcast. Podcasts come out every Wednesday. Streams happen every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe, follow on social media at My Bourbon Pod. And those are all the things. Support on Patreon at patreon.com/MyBourbonPodcast if you'd like to do that as well. Tip the show if you'd like to. Head into the Stream Elements link in the description below. It's just like super chatting, but we have to use a different website because I don't have access to the things here on the YouTube version of the super chatting. But I do concur with Tony. Jack Daniels is bourbon. Jack Daniels is bourbon. That's what it is. Tasting directions. Pour a sample of before charcoal mellowing whiskey into a tasting glass. Before mellowing, its nose is more cereal and blah, blah, blah. Nose and taste this first sample and then compare it to the Jack Daniels after charcoal mellowing whiskey poured into a second tasting glass. Why couldn't they just do this with regular whiskey? Why does it have to be aged 1 day? Player character, smooth finish. We believe the difference is worth the extra effort, just as Mr. Jack did more than 150 years ago. Yeah, I see the point, but this would have been more timely about 15 years ago. Who is the whiskey reviewer? I don't know who this person is. Why is nothing loading? I feel this will be part of a gift set. I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. But again, I feel like this is also going to be a distillery only thing. Because I haven't seen, well, I guess that's not true. Hold on. I gotta look at something here. But aged 5 minutes in oak. Yeah, exactly. Is it so it can legally be legally called Tennessee whiskey / bourbon? I don't know. Same thing PBR whiskey did. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's probably because it needed to go into a barrel for a minute to be called whiskey. Also, did they AI generate this picture of their distillery? Because it really looks like it. We waved oak staves in the general vicinity over the whiskey. We did a bird call mating dance over top of the barrels of whiskey, and now we don't talk about those barrels. Jack Daniel's Heritage Heritage Barrel. Kyle and I, Mr. Korkinoff, who's been in the chat, had some of that on last week's episode of the podcast, or this week's episode of the podcast. Very good. It's very, very good. Anyway, let's move on. APW and DWP. Oh, it's Danny Wimmer. Okay, so it's Ass Pocket whiskey. It's Derek Trux's whiskey, and it looks like he's partnering with Danny Wimmer Presents, which is the Bourbon and Beyond and Louder Than Life. Those festivals. It looks like they're partnering for a release of AWP or APW, excuse me. I don't know why you'd assume something like that. Couldn't tell you. But 107 proof. Oh, look, here we go. Derek and Danny, two true bourbon lovers, have spent much of their careers gaining access to the best barrels in the world. The search is their way of letting the rest of us in on some of their exceptional discoveries, bottled in ass pocket size to crack, share, and enjoy good times with great friends. Fun brand. Jackson Purchase, bottled in bond. Love Jackson Purchase. They're doing good stuff. Hopefully going to have their purveyors on the podcast soon. Very much looking forward to that. Boone County. Founders Reserve. Rye finish in Spanish sherry casks. 108.8 proof. Okay. Hooray. Tailgater Special. 10 years old, stadium proof, 102. What? Hello? Oh my. Bluegrass distilled in Lawrenceburg. Logan, are you still in here? Who is this? I haven't tried Jackson that I know of. I think I've brought it over, but I might have. This guy. I have. I thought I had, but I couldn't remember for sure. Sign you up for this label. The tailgater? Tailgater special is meant to be enjoyed with friends before kickoff, after the win, and during the moments that matter most. Here's to Wildcat pride and the sea of purple that brings us together. Is this an apolitical label? The sea of purple. Oh, this isn't for Kentucky. This isn't for the state. Or this isn't for University of Kentucky. This is for whatever state that is. I can't think of it right now. What, Perry, what bourbon or rye is your go-to right now? Currently, well, my go-to is usually Knob Creek Single Barrel. Without a doubt. I guess sarcasm isn't delivered through comments. Yeah. That was my bad, Tony, for not being able to read tone through the comments. I'm sorry. But Tony, or Kenny. I am a big Elijah Craig barrel proof fan. Knob Creek Single Barrel, of course. My daily is Turkey 101 when I get a good bottle. I'm currently in the middle of a bad bottle. I'm the Prince of Knob Creek, pretty much. That's it's been known. Is this Pennsylvania? Is that the state? It is Pennsylvania. Yeah. It's for Pennsylvania. Yeah. As far as like ryes go, just recently discovered how much I love Elijah Craig barrel proof rye. Thanks to Kyle. Big fan of that. So, yeah. Jack Daniel's Distillery Series. High Angel share? Or just straight up pulling from 117 series from Old Forester. Tennessee whiskey laid down in 2016 and rested atop Coy Hill on the top floor of Barrel House 113 for High Angel share. Okay. Oh, now I'm actually intrigued. 135 proof. Selected by Whiskey Taster. I don't know who Dale McGee is. Want to try that? Now I'm curious. Before I was like, I don't know. I don't know about that. A couple more that we'll just spend the rest of the evening chatting, drinking, having a good time. Barrel Craft Spirits Rye, single barrel, 14 years old, straight rye whiskey, 129.4. It's an Indiana rye, so I'm assuming it's 95.5. Love that proof, love that age. It's good. It's fantastic. And then private release Barrel Craft Spirits Bourbon. Straight bourbon whiskeys finished in toasted American oak and rum casks, 118 proof. Kentucky, Tennessee, Indiana, and Maryland. Barbados rum casks. Yes. Good stuff, folks. That's all the news that's fit to print. What's everybody drinking on? What are we doing? What's going on tonight? I'm going to open this Knob Creek single barrel. Still working through a 14-year Knob Creek single barrel pick from several years ago. Amazing. I miss those picks so much. I miss them dearly. I know why they had to lower the age on those, but I will never stop wishing for them to come back. This one has wax that's just breaking all over the place. I like Maryland better than Maryland. Come on. All the wax is going to break off of here. This one is not even 9.5 years, but it is from Jackson's Wine and Spirits here in Lexington, which I love what they do. They always pick great barrels. Good stuff. Good place. Good people. Gotta throw all this crap away now. Be fun to change up the pronunciation of some of the states. Any suggestions? Alabama. That's all I got right now. I might have a little Knob Creek in just a few. You can never go wrong with Knob Creek, I will say. It's a little hot on the nose. Little bit of ethanol. And that bit is dead. I just couldn't think of anything else. Arizona. Arizona. It's actually pretty funny now that I think about it. Want to pass me some of that bourbon through the monitor? Here you go. No, but the yawn. The yawn is just because I'm tired. I wasn't bored. I promise. I just immediately was like, I'm very tired. Thanks, bro. I got you. Don't you worry about it. You want some liquid death to wash it down too? I love the ends of streams where like it's super front loaded. We just had a bunch of stuff going on. Love me some carbonated Perry backwash. This is just this is still water. There's no carbonated backwash. Murder your thirst, yeah. Why do we only have 12 watching? You're what? Why do we only have 12 watching? You're an idiot. Everybody should see how stupid this guy is. Why are there only 12 people watching? I saw a $10 bottle of Kentucky lime water at Total Wine. That's still too much. Any dick slapping bottles tonight? You mean the dickle slap? Where'd my Knob Creek go? Oh, there it is. What Kenny was actually saying is your content's pretty good. I don't know. Live streams typically do not have a whole lot of people on for some reason. But I appreciate that though. Thank you very much, Kenny. I love streaming. I love live streaming a whole lot. I wish more people were on the streams. I try to keep them as engaging and entertaining as possible. But yeah, I don't know why. Not a lot of young bourbon heads out there who watch live streams, unfortunately. I mean maybe, but then you go to like, I mean, there might be a couple of reasons. It could be because I don't do a lot of collabs with people. I don't do giveaways anymore. A lot of people show up to live streams for giveaways, like when they can actually like get something out of watching. But I don't like doing giveaways that much, to be honest with you. But I don't know. I don't know. It's always kind of been a mystery to me. We do always have a great time. Perry deserves at least 20K viewers daily. I appreciate that. I show up for the Diggle jokes. Okay, fine, Perry, send me free stuff. I can send free stuff. I mean, got to do a pub style. That's the other thing too, is that like everybody does pub styles. And like it's just not my thing. Like I have a thing that I want to do, and this is my style of live streaming. Like I want to talk about things that other people are not talking about, which is what's going on with bourbon and whiskey news, you know, from my point of view, from my angle. And I think I do a pretty good job of it. I like doing the reviews too at the back end of episodes when I have them. But it's how I feel about it, you know. A lot of streamers I used to watch a ton, I stopped watching when they got into the giveaways culture of streaming. Yeah. Love the conversation, and you seem to not to be real not pretentious. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I am not pretentious for one reason and one reason only. It's whiskey, and it's supposed to be fun. I take myself only as seriously as one should with whiskey, because whiskey is supposed to be a communal experience. And, you know, this is my basement and my office in my house. I work from down here 4 out of 5 days out of the week. I forgot about the sarcasm thing again. You know, I don't want you to do that. I appreciate that, because I would hate to do a pub stream. Like, I will go on other people's streams if they are doing a pub stream and I get invited, but I do not want to host pub streams. I just absolutely don't want to do that. Like, I would, if it got to the point where I couldn't sustain doing a live stream because the only thing that was popular was pub streams. I would straight up quit streaming on YouTube. We would go to Twitch, we would build the community there, and we would completely do our own thing over there. I would refuse to stream on YouTube anymore. Over here talking about a home, about owning a home like that isn't pretentious. I'm very fortunate to own a home. Did I miss the latest update? Did I miss the latest update on the infamous handle of Turkey 101? Nothing mentioned on the pod. I did not mention anything on the pod because there wasn't really an update yet. I actually emailed them back today again. Because I hadn't heard anything back, and I was just curious if there was anything that they had decided yet. So the update on the Turkey 101 handle is that there is no update as of right now. Have no idea what pub streaming is. Big time content guy here, by the way. Pub streaming is basically when you just have like 5 or 6 different streamers all on the same live stream at the same time. And it's fun. It's like a community stream, but it just gets so, it's just the same thing every single week, and it's so tiresome. I just don't like it. I like watching it when there are interesting people on other people's streams. Again, I like being a part of it because I think it's fun to collaborate with other people. But I just don't. I just don't really want to engage with it. Where's Wipert? He's right here. Corking off. I'd nuke the entire world before I used Twitch. Genuine question, because I don't know how much content is on Twitch that is not gaming. Quite a lot. It's much more variety based these days than just gaming. They're getting your gold foil ready. I can't wait. Can't wait. So much better because you don't have to be a streamer. You can just be a dude sitting in a chair with a camera. I mean, I don't consider... I know how to be a streamer, but I don't necessarily consider myself a streamer. I engage in kind of being a streamer. You know what I mean? I'm a content creator. But I'm not a streamer in the way that I Show Speed or Kai Cenat are, you know? Anyway. Anybody snag that Evan Williams 1776? What? I don't know if I knew that this was a thing. What I mean is half the people that show up to the pub styles don't have a channel or content or their own. They just sit there and sometimes talk, but a lot of times they say nothing. Yeah, that's the other thing too, is that like I don't like I want to like make something. I want to talk about something. I don't want to just like if I would get on there and it would feel like everybody's just waiting for somebody else to say something. And I just don't want to do that. I am perfectly happy doing this. I am perfectly happy with the audience that I have. And I am perfectly happy with the people who watch the stream after it's over, too. Like, I don't mind that, you know, not everybody watches the stream while it's live. So, a good chunk of the views come from people showing up or from people watching after the stream is over. So, need to drop into Louisville / Evan Williams. Just haven't had time yet. Wanted to know if it's worth the chase. I mean, I kind of want to get one of these. 7 year, 9 months barrel. 117.6 proof. It's one of the few ones where I would actually kind of like be. I would fall for one of the like 250 year hype. This review in r/bourbon gave it a 7 out of 10. I haven't seen it locally. Now, I haven't been into a big box store in a few days. So I don't know. Got to do it live. I would chime in. Too much to watch replays. Yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna watch a live stream, I'm gonna watch it live. Like I rarely watch replays of live streams, unless there was drama or something that I needed to like catch myself up on. Only spouting this because I'm watching random Filipino martial art stuff on my other monitor, but fun fact, the butterfly knife is actually a design originated from the Philippines called balasong, and the karambit knife is from Indonesia. Only like to watch live stuff, yeah. Hey, Papa Ritter's back. Friend 900 every corner of Chicago for 12 days, and I never saw it. I did see the standard Evan Williams in a celebration label. Stopped chasing long ago. A ton of good juice on the shelf. Yeah, I don't chase anymore. I run into stores, and if they have something cool, great. Chasing's been dead for a while. Chasing died when people realized that there was the opportunity to go into random stores and find bottles that had been sitting there collecting dust for 15 or 20 years. But that ended once everybody caught wind of it and the shelves emptied, you know? It is what it is. Like, I'm not upset about it. Y'all catch the Forza's Father's Day and Mother's Day single barrel drops. Less age 14-year drop on a Wednesday, Mother's Day, and a Friday, Father's Day, not Saturday. And 139, not 99. I did not catch any of that. I cannot believe that it's up to $140 though. Buddy of mine wants me to find him a Penelope Rio, so I'll keep an eye out. But other than that, no chasing anymore. Yeah. Barrel picks are exactly where it's at. Still Dusty Scotch out there to be had, though. I mean, that's different. Dusty Bourbon, basically all but gone. You know? There's some here or there. Like I said on, I guess it was this week's episode of the podcast. I've got like one honey hole left in Lexington, and I will not reveal it. Maybe two, but it's just not as populated. No, I won't share it. Are you kidding me? No. Is for me. Is for me and me alone. Don't blame you. I mean, I appreciate that. Take me to your honey hole. I think I'm coming in July. I did see a bottle of Elmer T. Lee on the shelf today, though. I didn't ask the price. I didn't want to get my hopes up. But also, I largely don't care. I mean, it was one of those stores where I was like, I know I'm going to be upset. No, that is not Kenny Mills. This Kenny Mule is new to the community, and he said that he is in the Texas Gulf. I was really hoping that this Knob Creek would open up a little bit, and it just hasn't, like, at all. It's still super hot. The finish is great. The finish is really good. Name makes sense. Welcome, Kenny. Been cool. We haven't had a new member of the community in a while, so nice to have a new face around. But with that in mind, we are at a close. At the close? It's time for me to end it. We're at our end time for the evening, my friends. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. What a fun time. What a fun time. Thank you so much for watching. Next week. Night, fam. Night, indeed. Nice. Yes, happy Kentucky Derby weekend. I forgot to do Kentucky Derby stuff tonight, but it's fine. It is what it is. When you drink for the Kentucky Derby, have like one mint julep because they get kind of sugary. Otherwise, just drink bourbon. There, that's my Kentucky Derby drink preview for the night. Folks, I love you. I'll miss you. I think about you always. I'll see you next time. Until then, though, I was Perry. This is my Bourbon Podcast. Live. See you real soon. Bye.